Hello, I'm Master Kittel. Welcome to the Cycling Day.
Welcome back to another episode of Tech Tuesdays. The world of cycling tech is changing and moving as fast as the pace as the world is changing as well, and the former is definitely good news for us, at least, for the very reason that the more innovative we get, the more we improve our day-to-day lives on the saddle. So here are 5 items we put together that we believe will change the world of our sport, that is cycling. And just before we start, we'll give you enough time to subscribe to the channel so you won't ever miss a single Tech Tuesday episode ever again. No doubt you may have seen these on your diabetic friends or some guy you know in the gym that is a pro level athlete. Right now this piece of tech is being used for those two extremes, but one day it will become more easily accessible to the public, and that is the glucose monitor. No, this is not some sci-fi dystopia you're living in where tech is taking your blood. The monitor keeps an eye on your glucose levels in real time. The tech is so overpowered, the governing body have actually had an opinion and had a hissy fit as usual and banned it. Just like they have pretty much been banning everything. They may as well ban breathing at this point. However, this is not a video about them. So what's the deal? Well, as years gone on in the world of science, we've become more understanding about our bodies and how they work. Particularly how when we eat any food with calories in it, our blood glucose will spike. We learned so much about this and realised it can affect our performances a lot. This is basically what the monitor will be checking, giving you the advantage to help you not underdo or even overdo your blood glucose, because when we give ourselves too much or too little, we will fatigue. It's as simple as that. And the fact that you can control this is certainly overpowering. There is no more second guessing and any anxiety of thinking, oh, is that too much carbs I'm eating, or is it not enough? You will find out in real time what you're getting, and that is what's so crazy about this tech. The only problem is it's expensive for now for the average cyclist, but no doubt the demand of this will rise and the ordinary people will be able to get this as easy as a diabetic or even a pro athlete with those $1 million sponsorships. Whoop. You've probably heard of this being advertised by cycling influencers of the sorts. We're not simply endorsing this item particularly because of the fact that we don't use it, but we do see the potential in it and it becoming more accessible to everyday people. The Whoop device is a wristband that tracks our stresses from everyday experiences, not just from cycling but our ordinary lives. And it's things like stress that actually does affect our recovery, and that is what the point of the device is, to help us recover better. It uses that with monitoring your heart rate, and of course heart rate is your best indicator for your body stresses that it's experiencing in real time. And this in turn will help out how much sleep you really need to perform at 100% or just get by. This will then encourage you to go to bed early or a precise time that it would recommend you to. And no doubt that would actually encourage more productivity in your training, even as an amateur. And of course when you're asleep it will also measure what kind of sleep you're experiencing. Are you experiencing the deep sleep or the REM sleep cycle? Now these are not mainstream as of yet, but you can get a hold of one if you got the money. But no doubt one day they'll be like power meters and then they'll go down in prices and become more easily accessible, and that is a CDA monitor, which gives you data on your aerodynamics. It's as simple as that. This will definitely change the game for the pros as well as amateurs, because of one thing: the pros are obsessed with getting faster for less watts, doing so by decreasing the drag. Now wind tunnel testing is a way to do this, but the real best way to do this, that most aerodynamic scientists will tell you, is to do it in real life. And this monitor will definitely help you out get a better positioning on your bike, because if we can see the CDA that we're giving out on the bike, which is our drag coefficient, we can definitely get faster for less money, such as not buying super expensive aerodynamic materials, because there's no doubt one of the greatest drags in your ride is you, the rider, without a shadow of doubt. Everything else is just the bike, which is mostly 30% anyway. And many of you will be thinking, well, we probably don't need this, but Dan Bigham would disagree, as he said in his book, and I quote, "It may seem unnecessary for your average leisure cyclist to be keeping an eye on his CDA during a Sunday morning ride, but when he gets to that final hill and has more energy left than his mates, it will suddenly seem very important." Now of course electric bikes have been around for quite a bit now, and people use them a bit more. But I'm telling you now, the world will use them more, and I'm saying that as in not just the cycling world, but the entire world itself. Because it's no secret that the world is radically changing, with governments trying to please younger generations that they are tackling climate change, and it is common knowledge that most countries are moving the day even closer to switch to electric cars. But the only problem is this, and I'm going to make it very simple: most electric cars will not be affordable for the average person. So why not change your usual commuting vehicle to an electric bike? Because of the simple fact they're way cheaper than the average hatchback that most people drive nowadays, such as a Ford Focus, which usually would cost around about £13,000 to £14,000 depending. But if you're going to go for a bike, particularly an electric bike, you can get a really good one for £5,000 that can do over 100 miles. And what's also important to mention is the fact that bikes do not need the annoying MOTs that cost money, as well as insurance and tax. And that is certainly why things will definitely change on the road. We will most likely see less cars on the road and more electric bikes, or maybe even just regular bikes. People will just then be encouraged to use more bikes. Although feel free to comment how quickly this video aged if it's not true in the year 2030, which is apparently when all these changes are going to happen anyway. And now moving on to the top spot, but before we do that, this is your reminder to subscribe to the Cycling Day. And now we finish off with the one that may just keep us all inside and safe and comfortable during the winter months. Unless you're that crazy outdoors zealot, of course. And if you are, then good man. But there's no doubt virtual reality cycling will be another thing that we will see perfected in 10 years time, maybe even more. But nevertheless, it's very likely to change the cycling world, because the world of VR is not slowing down at all. And you can only look at the rise of Zwift and think there's definitely going to be a day when we're going to see more virtual reality technology within cycling, and no doubt people will want to stay inside and actually experience a more virtual reality system while on Zwift at the same time, or maybe even something else that might replace Zwift. Who knows? The future is completely unpredictable after all at this point. And with that, guys, that is the end of the list. Did we miss anything that you might think actually changed the world of cycling? If you do, then please comment down below, because not only am I interested, I'm sure everyone else is interested in what is going to change the world of cycling, because right now the world of cycling has such innovative tech, you can't really tell if it ever will change the world. Nevertheless though, guys, before we go, make sure to like the video and of course subscribe to this channel, the Cycling Day Extra. And of course, most importantly, it'd be really helpful if you also subscribe to the main channel as well. And so that's it for me, guys, and as always, have a nice day.